Welcome to Calm Your Crazy. I'm Kiana Lambert, and tonight we are going to talk about what else? Creating your reality and the struggles that come with it, and being human in this simulation, in this game. How to master it, how to master yourself. So a lot of things that are coming up this week for people in my community and for myself is how do you sustain that energy whenever you've shifted your reality? Because a lot of us have. We've shifted and gotten to like the next level of what we wanted. And now we're in a completely new set of rules and territory. What do? For example, if you got everything you wanted and now you are in this space where you're like, what do I do next? And then you're coming up against the same challenges as before in your nervous system. And you're coming up against the same beliefs and limiting beliefs that you had before. And you're coming up against them again. And you're kind of like, God, I thought I already did this to get here. And now I'm meeting this again. What's happening? Am I just regressing? Am I going back? What's going on? And no, you're not regressing. You graduated. You are growing this muscle. So you got what you wanted and you're like, whoa, I was able to do it. I shifted my reality. That's amazing. Now what? Well, your nervous system has metabolized it and now you're going to have to move on to the next thing. And for me, the next thing for me is growth. Like, how do I want to grow next? I had a goal to get off medication, did that. Lost all the weight, did that. Doing a lot of adventuring, doing that. I want to help other women learn to shift their reality because it's helping me and it's circle of life energy. And so I started a podcast. I created a website. I built a platform. I started a community. Like, what do I do next? How do I want to grow? And I want to reach more people. So I have to kind of figure that out. How do I reach more people? And how do I want to feel? And what is more important to me? Because it isn't about, and this is asked backwards, right? Because everyone tells you, oh, serve other people, do things for other people, forget yourself. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, have been serving other people my entire life. There's a different way to do it because that part doesn't work. If you're saving other people just to save yourself, you got to save yourself first before you go saving others. So I saved myself. I have myself as proof positive. And I want other people to feel this way that I feel because it's entirely possible. And that's my calling. That's what I want to do is change consciousness. That's what I'm here for. That's the meaning I decided to give my game. I've been down the rabbit hole with my consciousness, and now I have to come back to being human and playing the game. And this is what I chose. So now I have to decide, how do I reach more people? And everything is about coming into balance. So we are shifting from one paradigm to another, and it cannot be a huge pendulum swing, meaning you're not going to go from capitalism to socialism overnight. It's a process. It takes time. And we are in this middle of this pendulum swing with capitalism. And everything is really expensive. I'm watching it on the news. And yeah, I can say, oh, I'm going to imagine my reality being one where there's abundance, and all that is true too. But I know that people that are struggling and that are living in scarcity are at the lower end of the economic pool, because this is where enlightenment happens. Right now, the theme is enlightenment through shame, through the bottom of all the emotions. And that's where we are. And the reason that I went through everything and came out on the other side was so that I could show others the way. And that being said, my belief and my association is that people that really need this may not be able to afford it. And that should not preclude them from having access. Because one thing I really believe and have always believed is that everything will always balance out. You can see it in nature. Nature will always find a way. There will always be balance. It may not look like it while the pendulum is swinging, but it's coming into balance. And we are coming into balance as far as energy. And I really feel that it's every man according to his or her need. So I come from a marketing perspective where I've been trained that, you rely on people's psyche and you push people into scarcity so that they feel like they have to buy so that they don't lose out on something or they get the bonus, That's the training that I've had. But it was very counterintuitive, this training. Whenever I took it, I knew that was the rules and that's how people played, and I made money that way. So it reflected back to me that it does work. But the turnover rate, meaning your exchange, is abysmal. It never made sense to me because statistically, it's so low on the statistical value, like for me, and I'll explain. But in marketing, when you have a product, you get everybody to come get it for free, and then you put them on an email list, and then you email your email list. Oh, my membership's closing in 5 days or 4 days or whatever, so that you really get them to get on the ball. Because people right now only respond to scarcity. And you will advertise this free stuff, right? And then you add all these bonuses in, and then you have a funnel and a landing page. And I would watch in the background when I would do this online marketing, and the numbers made 0 sense to me. We would have, hundreds of people sign up to go through the free stuff. And the return rate was 2%, 1%, 8% was even unheard of. And turnover rate means that 8% of the people that signed up actually end up buying from you. And that made no sense. 0 cents. Like that turnover rate is mathematically, it's so low that it means that you are trickling energy in that energy sense. And I know this from what I've been doing, right? But even 8% is a trickle rate of return energy. And that is just abysmal, which tells me that nothing about what is happening is flow with energy or is authentic, right? And I knew this intrinsically then, but still 8% return, which is 7 and 8% return is usually what I get when I do marketing, is still a lot of money, right? So I have a subconscious programming that I've already learned. I follow the rules, I get this. Those are the parameters and the rules and the belief systems around how I make money. And because I believed in it and expected it, reality reflected that to me. And I made a lot of money that way. But we are shifting from this paradigm of that to one of every man according to its need and an energy exchange. And when you sell big programs and you sell things to people, it's you doing a lot of this creation work, putting it into there, and you expect a return of money. And to me, this is a gross feeling because it's like incestuous. I don't need that. It's not real. It's just ones and zeros. Where is my return on that? Yeah, I can take those ones and zeros and go have experiences. But at the end of the day, my experiences don't matter as much as the connection and the return energy that I want. So it's very counterintuitive, but it's something that I need to do. And that is to shift from the one-way energy to being one that is freely given. and the return being every man according to his need, and expecting balance and expecting abundance to come in and balance everything out. So, as an example, I'm shifting my membership to one, and the only reason it's tiered is because the platform that I'm using cannot handle subscriptions where you can choose your own subscription payment. So I have to create tiers for people to get. And the first tier is going to be free, right? You'll have all access to the modules, the meetings. You can come in and participate for nothing if you're a woman. That's the caveat. This is for women. So you can come in and participate for nothing, but the expectation is energy exchange. Don't come in and just take. Come in and participate. Ask questions. Learn. Take advantage. And the expectation is you will return in energy what you are not giving monetarily in that form of energy. Meaning, what I do still has value, even if it's free. And this is stepping away from subconscious programming, right? That says it only has value if you pay for it. I don't believe that for a second. I've spent thousands of dollars going to programs and training and never showed up, or hardly showed up at all, because my nervous system couldn't handle it. But I've gone to a lot of free stuff when I needed it because it resonated and I needed it at the time. So I'm shifting my entire paradigm from the marketing standpoint, from all the numbers, from everything else, to one of reciprocation of energy and belief that people are actually going to value when they need it, and they're going to resonate, and they're going to come in with that resonation, and they are going to use what they can get for free. And then they're going to turn around and use it to grow. And when they get there, they're going to be in a position to give that energy back. And that is the balance. And then there'll be other tiers, and people can pay what they want to pay. And then there'll be the top tier, which is actually so cheap. It's $49 a month. And you get to see me and deal with me and text me and call me when you need me. It's like the one-on-one coaching and training for the community. But it's all in the same community. You'll have access to movies or the videos, to the modules, to the training, all of it. And that is a huge shift. But it's one that we need to start and we need to shift to. And a lot of other creators and people are doing it this way as well. And another big part of this shift is when you put a paywall on something, that means that you're forcing somebody to meet you at your price. Right? So there's like a resistance to that energy. But if you go in with trust, and you trust yourself, and you trust that what you're going to receive is going to reflect you, and you are trusting yourself, and you are a trustworthy person, and you embody that energy, reality is going to reflect that. And you're going to get trustworthy people that come in and contribute. That's how it works. So all of this is a huge shift from what I've experienced before, and it really taxes my nervous system because subconscious programming is safe. And what I'm doing, even though it's a new shift and it needs to happen, is very unsafe. It's unknown. So I have to deal with my nervous system all the time when I'm shifting to this, because this is the next step for me, challenging my belief system and growing from here. And really seeing how much I can embody what I want to embody and what I want to create and what I want to contribute to the reality that I want to see with consciousness and growth in humankind. So it's challenging, and I have to do my exercises. I have to breathe. I didn't need to do all the exercises in the mirror for a while. So I teach you that when you're starting this out, you start talking to yourself in the mirror. You do your white room exercise where you start building the future that you want to see. You create the avatar of yourself that embodies this future. And you listen to yourself and talk to yourself out loud, so you're hearing your own frequency. and you take action towards the things that you want to, and breathe and regulate and validate yourself while you're doing it. I teach you all these things, right? And over time, you don't need to keep doing them because your nervous system acclimates and it no longer kind of holds the same charge because you've used it so much. Well, I've gotten to the next level. I've gotten to the next phase. And my nervous system is boom. It feels like it's back to square one, babe. But it's not back to square one. It's getting kicked up again by the same things that you met before. And you're going to meet them again as you start to challenge yourself to do more things. So go back to your tools. I've had to go back because the hijack is real. It is, and it will clamp down on you so hard. I could say some really inappropriate jokes because I normally do, but I'm not going to because I'm being serious. You have to go back to your tools, and I have to go back to my tools, and I've been going back to my tools because I'm starting a whole nother level of faith and trust that I need in myself. So we're back to square motherfucking one. Squeeze my French. Where I'm looking in the mirror again, I'm listening to my own frequency, and I'm like, okay, saddle up, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And then I'm sitting with old pain that's coming up as the wounds come up. I tell myself, okay, it's just information. There's no instructions here. I'm feeling old wounds, and I really have to go back to square one as far as my tools go. Now, the difference between before and now is that before I had to do 27 days of grueling everyday work where it felt like work and it felt like pulling myself out of the mud every single day to change my neural pathways. This time, few days here, few days there, we're good. Most of the days are sunshine. And that's the difference. So you've gotten to the next level. You're trying to figure out what to do from here. You've learned about energy. You've learned more about energy in your body. You've started to regulate. You've expanded. You've gotten what you wanted, and you're freaking out. Go back to your tools. Remind yourself who you are. Most of what we come up against and what we're afraid of is that we are not trusting and within ourselves. When you trust yourself, when the perception of yourself and the belief in yourself and the expectation of who you are and what you can do are all aligned, then you can go through anything, because it's instead of your brain getting hijacked and you starting to combat every worst case scenario, your brain is then allowing you to give you space so that you can talk yourself down and say, we've got this. Because when you're in the hijack, you can't tell yourself, hey, we've got this. But the more that you practice this, the more you'll get that space, and you won't go into the hijack, because before you go into it, you breathe, you use your tools, you start listening to your voice again, you start reminding yourself who you are, how much you've already done, and then you keep going. And you command yourself, show me the answers. Show me which way to go, how to do it, and regulate. You've got to line up that perception and belief and expectation of who you are and how much power you have. You've already shown yourself that you can do it. Sustaining it and staying within that is what you need to do to keep going. So you may think that you're failing, but you're not. You're just coming up against something else. And the thing is that this may be just one time of many, but you are going to have it, experience it become easier and easier and easier. Don't focus on what could go wrong. Don't focus on what you could lose. Remember that there's always a two-way street. So when you are thinking of all the negative things that could happen, those are just as likely to happen as the positive things. because things have not happened yet. You are in the moment. The future is not decided. You are creating it within you in the moment. So you get to decide what that is. You get to decide what that future holds. So breathe. Tell yourself, only good things happen to me, and the answers will come, and I trust myself like I always have, and I always do. Show yourself self-love. And by that, say good things to yourself. Eat well. Take care of your body. Stretch. Move it. Ground yourself with the earth. Put your feet on the ground. Let that excess energy that is running through you go back down into the ground. And that way that you can start regulating and breathing. But the number one thing that is always going to help you, that is always going to save you, is staying in your body and not thinking whenever you start feeling the rumination. Staying in your body and not thinking and feeling and staying in the present moment. That will help you. And then, most importantly, you have to start believing in yourself. You have to love yourself unconditionally, and you have to do the things that signal to yourself you are trustworthy. The rumination, the fear, the anxiety, and the stress comes from you not trusting yourself. And 60 to 70% of all the energy you have for the day is being used by this, by rumination, by lack of trust in yourself, by anxiety, by fear, with stress. That means you've got 30 to 40% of energy left for the day to do whatever it is that you have to do to move throughout the day. And what time is left for you? What time is left for regulation? What time is left for you to touch your consciousness? The only place that you can get more energy from is that 60 to 70%. And the way to get that energy back is to start trusting and believing in yourself. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? Have you ever let yourself down before? Has anything not ever worked out? You're still here. You're still alive. You're still growing. You're still experiencing. So breathe and expect that the challenge is not going to stop. You're just going to get better at handling it. And as soon as you really can lean into it, then the position of power changes. Your perception changes. Instead of running from it, instead of waiting in anticipation for the storm to hit, because it always has, you turn it around. You grab the wheel and you boldly face the wind. You sit there and you face it. Lean in. Whatever happens, I'm going to grow from this. Whatever happens, I'm going to learn from this. Whatever happens, I am safe with me. Whatever happens, I choose me. Whatever happens, I believe in me. Scream into the wind. Is that all you got? Change your position of power. You can be taken by the waves, or you can surrender and only move your body just every so often when you need to. Just enough to stay afloat. And you ride the wave. And you learn. I used to body surf in California. And when you're learning to body surf, it's very hard in the beginning because you have to learn timing. And I learned very quickly that as soon as you surrender to the wave and you just let it carry you and you move ever so slightly, that's all you needed. And I could stay out there for hours because I really wasn't exerting much energy at all. I was just moving like a fish and letting the water take me. And life is the same way. Reality is the same way. Energy flows like a river through you. It is you. And the resistance in that energy is your belief about yourself, who you are, how life actually works, what you're allowed to have, what's dangerous. And none of it is real. None of it is true. In fact, fear is such an illusion that the more that something feels fearful, the more that you should lean into it. Because the illusion breaks pretty quickly when you face it. And it becomes enjoyable. So while it doesn't feel like it in the moment, when you're feeling all these feelings in your body, and when you're coming up against old wounds, try to separate yourself from what is happening in the moment and look at it as data, as experience, not instructions that you have to follow, just something for you to experience. And oftentimes you don't even have to do anything. All you have to do is stay in your observer state and just take things a day at a time and watch how they change, because everything changes in an instant because it mirrors you. And your emotions can change in an instant, and life will change in an instant. So focus in the moment on what you want to feel. Remind yourself that this is temporary, because you're going to go through cycles. You're going to go through them in life, and you're going to go through them during the day. You're going to go through them during the month. Everything is a mirror of itself. Everything is a macro and a microcosm of itself. So you're going to go through energy waves through the day, where you feel great at one point in the day, and then you get tired, and then it's bedtime, and the energy cycles again. And you're going to have energy cycles that are the same way. The wave is just bigger over the month. So go with the energy, just like you would body surf. Just observe, feel, and move only when you feel like it's time. Resonance can be felt, and you can feel it when you're in your body. Things will stand out to you. There's no time, so you experience all these things throughout your life for a reason, and they will come up exactly when it's time. And that is resonance. You have to believe and trust in yourself and know that everything is happening exactly the way it should. And if you want something, command it to come into your reality. Say it out loud and believe it and expect it. Love yourself above all, because that is the foundation. Believe in who you are. I told my community that I am, and this is not very nice because he obviously had a lot of challenges, but when I am with myself, when I am with my body, it can be uncomfortable to first sit in it. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like I need to get out and race. But the longer I sit with it, I seem to sink underneath that feeling. It seems to dissipate the more I focus on it. And then what comes over me is me touching myself, my divinity touching me, me being in my body. And the closest thing that I can describe to it is the feeling that you get when you first fall in love. You can't stop thinking about them. It feels so good. You get all this oxytocin that's just coursing through your body because you're thinking about them all day. That's what it feels like to be with me. And I said that I was jealous of Stephen Hawking because he could sit there with himself and ponder the secrets of the universe. And it's euphoric to be able to sit there with you. So, loving yourself and being with yourself is when you can touch that, when you can feel that. Nothing else matters, and nothing else is going to be the same. And it's all that I ever could imagine, want, and more. And every single time I have fear, or I feel my human side really kicking in and my nervous system kicking in, I go back to that feeling and sitting in my body because it's so powerful. And it's like this connection to divineness, to oneness. And one thing I haven't talked about, and I'll probably talk about in a later episode, and I'll share with my community, is the connection between mind, body, and your consciousness. And really connecting your Christ consciousness together. It means several different things in several different ways, but the connection really is there whenever you know and embody who you are and really have that connection to yourself. That is your consciousness. And it gives direction to your brain, which is your mind, because your brain, your mind is a receiver. And then it is executed immediately through your body, because your body is what executes the emotions, and that's what's broadcasted as frequency. And that creates the reality you experience as consciousness. And that completes the triangle. And the Christ consciousness comes in when you realize that you are everything and everyone. And there's no separation. And when you realize that you're everything, everyone, and creating everything and everyone, it allows your consciousness to come online, giving your mind direction, because you can see everything when you have the awareness of consciousness. And therefore you give your mind direction because you are in touch with your consciousness. It's awake. You are one with it. Then your body executes, creating the experience, that you want to have as consciousness and yourself. And touching your consciousness, you can tell when you're in it, when you're in the flow and you're connected, because you see how everything is connected. Things will happen and they resonate, and you'll see and you'll know why it's there. You'll know why things happen, why it happened, when it's going to happen. And then you also are able to hold the duality of your human self and what you're experiencing, what you're creating, and how that feels emotionally. So the Christ consciousness is all of that, and it's holding all that duality at the same time. We'll talk about it more. It takes practice, but literally it's just the belief in yourself that starts it all. So, how long do we have here? Oh, we're good. We're about 33 minutes in. Hey, Christ consciousness. What are we talking about there? Do you see that? All right, well, that is this week's episode. Remember all this. Remember who you are. That is the foundation of everything, okay? Everything you learn and read out there is going to be icing on the cake. It's tools, it's observations that other points of your consciousness have contributed to this reality so that you can find it and see if it works for you. Everything is clues. Everything leads back to you. If it comes into your awareness, it's for you. It means something. If it doesn't feel good, it means you have to do something about it. If it feels good, it's for you. And if you don't know what to do and you have options, if it feels good and it's expansive, that's going to be good. It's for you. If it feels terrifying, that's where you're going to have the most growth. And if it doesn't feel good at all, it's not for you. Get rid of it. Listen to yourself every single time. If it's not for you and it doesn't feel good, it's probably going to look like the easiest route. And you're going to be like, oh, I know it doesn't feel good, but it also looks like the easiest way. That's a trap. Don't do it. The most growth is the middle road. It's going to be the one that you meet everything and everyone and come up against all your wounds for growth. And then the other one, easy peasy lemon squeezy, go for it. Get expansive. You're going to learn everything you need to by the time you are out the door anyway. So choose whatever it is that you want to experience, because there is no wrong door. Okay? And I love you, mean it, and I will see you next week.